Hello, I'm Lisa Eitel, Senior Editor with Design World Magazine. Today we're here with Ron Giovannone, Director of Applications Engineering and Business Operations at Nook Industries based in Cleveland, Ohio. This particular video covers wear indicator nuts for jacks, but look for other videos in this series that answer other FAQs. So Ron, would you please explain what we are seeing here?
Sure. One of the concerns when designing a lift platform when using a screw jack is how to know if the travel nut is worn out or about to fail, especially when someone might get hurt. What we have here is a follower nut assembly, or typically called a wear indicator nut. How they work is very simple. When mounted vertically, with the load always in a downward direction, the device takes advantage of Newton's law of gravity.
So if I understand correctly, this can be used when the load is above the nut assembly.
That is correct. Normally, as the travel nut traverses a load, it will wear over time. As it does, the nut thread gets thinner. At some point, the thread will no longer be able to support the load and fail. In the case of a following nut assembly, as the internal threads get thinner, the primary nut will fall with respect to the second following nut. This gap will get smaller, indicating the amount of wear the thread engagement has seen. This second nut is not carrying any load, but is pinned to the primary nut so it can follow along.
It seems the distance of the gap is important. How is this gap set?
This gap is set to 1/4 of the pitch. So for example, a 1'4" Acme screw has a pitch of 1/4 of an inch. This gap would then be set to 1/16 of an inch. As the nut wears and the gap closes, you know that you've worn through half the tooth thickness, so the nut needs to be replaced. The gap can be measured with a feeler gauge. When accessibility of the travel nut is restricted, in some applications we have incorporated a proximity sensor to indicate the closure of that gap.
I noticed these nuts are made out of bronze. Can other materials be used?
Yes, you can also make the follower nut out of steel instead of bronze. This has a unique effect. When the gap is closed and load begins to transition onto the second follower nut, the steel nut will begin to make an audible noise, letting the operator or maintenance personnel know that it's time to replace the nut assembly.
Ron, it's always a pleasure chatting with you. To find out more about the advantages of using a wear indicator nut, contact Nook Industries at 1-800-321-7800 or visit nookindustries.com. Thanks for watching.